Stampers, this is Marie Bennett at blackberriesandcream.net. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to make this card with you. This is our 5th in the series of Vellum as seen on Pinterest videos, and it will be the last one. This card was pinned by Dawn Olszewski, and you can find her at stampinwithdawn.com. The card itself was made by a swapper, one of her swappers, Kirsten Kortonik. So let's go ahead and get started with this card. The materials we're going to be using, I'm going to be using this thanks image from the Watercolor Wishes card kit, and this kit is still for sale in the general catalog until June 1st. I don't know if they're going to be retiring it or not, but if you're interested in a kit that has everything you need to make a set of cards, this is a really good one. And that includes the stamps. The stamps come along with all of the paper and the little embellishments that you need, and of course the directions. So you might give this some thought if you don't already have it. So I'll be using the thanks image out of there. The other 2 stamp sets I'm using are hardwood, which is for sale in the general catalog, and also vintage leaves, which is also still for sale in the general catalog. I don't know if I don't know if any of these will carry over. So if you like these stamp sets and you don't have them, then follow the link below the video and get your hands on them before they're gone. Alright, so in addition to that, we're using the leaflets, thinlits. And these come as, I think they still come as a bundle, I'm not sure, but I got them as a bundle with the vintage leaves. And we're going to be using this thinlet and the coordinating image. Alright. So the basic cardstock is Old Olive, and it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored down the middle at 5 1/2. So this card opens this way. Okay, the next layer on the card after the basic cardstock is a layer of Whisper White, which is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to be stamping this hardwood image on the Whisper White in Old Olive ink. And because the stamp is so large, I leave the stamp flat on the table and then apply the ink this way. Okay, and I've never done this before, but I might as well. I have seen other stampers who leave the stamp on the table, then lay the paper down. I'm just not very steady, so. And then just gently rub around. And pull it off. Oh, not bad. Okay, I think I'm going to do one more, just to, then I'll have a choice which one I like better. Okay, so see if I can get it straighter this time. I'm not worried about getting ink on the back side of the paper. It won't show anyway. There you go. I think I'm pretty sure I like that one better because the first one I did doesn't have an image all the way, the full length of the paper. So I'm going to use this one. And close up my old olive for right now. Now, so we've got the first 2 layers done. I think I might turn it this way. And then if we look at the picture, the next layer is a piece of old olive cardstock. And that cardstock I cut to, there were no directions with this picture, so I'm just making my best guess, and I cut it at 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And so that's going to be the next image on the, or layer on the card. Now, if we look at the picture, we can see that the next step, of course, is to get these leaves ready. And we're going to be stamping in old olive on whisper white 2 different leaf images. So I'm going to get this other leaf image. I didn't notice that. I'm going to get that ready and I'll be right back. Okay, so from the Vintage Leaves stamp set, we're going to be using this leaf image and this one. And we're stamping in old olive again on a piece of whisper white. And these are photopolymers, so sometimes you want something a little cushy under there to make sure you get a good image. And I'm just going to do the inking on this one the same way I did with the hardwood stamp. Doesn't matter where I put these on the whisper white because they're going to be cut out on the big shot. Okay, so the stamping is done for the well, not quite, but for the big shot. And now I want to stamp the inside of the card also while I've got my ink open. And I don't want a full strength image, so I'm going to ink up my stamp and then stamp it off. Maybe right like this. And I don't want a whole thing here, just like that. There we go. And then I think I'm going to get carried away and put another one down here, just part of an image. There. So that will go on the inside of the card. And I'm finished with my old olive ink, so I'm going to close it up, get it out of the way so I don't make a mess. And the next step is going to be to go to the big shot and cut out my leaves and my vellum. And I need one more thinlet. I need the one that goes with the smaller leaf, this one. So I'm going to take this over to the big shot, cut these out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my big shot work is done. The next thing I need to do is stamp the greeting on this small piece of old olive. And I'm using the thanks greeting from Watercolor Wishes card kit. And I'm going to be stamping in Memento Tuxedo Black. It's going to go at the bottom right here. I love this script in this Watercolor Wishes card kit. Alright, so the stamping is done and we are ready to start putting the card together. So let's just build from the bottom up. So we'll put the inside of the card on first, just using snail adhesive. Alright, then on the outside of the card we start with the hardwood layer. I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, just like normal. Okay, and then this layer we need to build before we stick it on. So if we look at the picture, it's the vellum is the first one, and then the longer leaf, and then the smaller leaf. And I believe that they are hooked or stuck together with glue dots. So that's what I'm going to do. So on top of the vellum leaf, I'm just going to put a glue dot right there. And then the next leaf that I will adhere is the other long leaf, and it's just slightly off to the side at an angle, like that. And then another glue dot. And then the small leaf on top of that. Just kind of like this. And now this is ready to go on the card. And I'm going to stick those on with glue dots also. But I'm going to put a glue dot on the vellum, the wide part of the vellum, and a glue dot on this behind the smaller leaf, and a glue dot behind the stems, like that. And I want it to be here, like that, so that a little bit of the leaf is off the side of the old olive and you don't cover up your greeting. Alright, the next step is to put on some lace. And I did not have the lace that Kristen used when she made her card. So I used some of this Venetian crochet trim. And this ribbon is a kind of a natural cream color. And I needed something that was old olive. So I took my sponge dauber and daubed it up with old olive and then just colored the lace green. So what I'm going to do now is adhere it to the back of the card with glue dots. And this just goes, it just goes right over there, kind of over the top of the smaller leaf, like that. And then the next thing I need to do is take another piece of this Venetian trim, crochet trim, and this piece I colored on both sides because I want to just tie a knot right here. And so I want all, both sides of it are going to show, so I want them both colored in old olive, like that. And then the next thing I'll need to do is get my little snips and trim this off. Like that. Okay. Alright, now this piece is ready to adhere to the card, and I'm going to use dimensionals for that. And I want to kind of have these dimensionals do double duty, so I'm going to use 6 of them. And I'm going to place one dimensional on top of the trim, sort of off to the side, so it's stuck both to the cardstock and to the trim, the lace. And that will help keep the lace from coming undone on the card. And then one in the center on both sides, one at the other end on both sides. So I use 6 dimensionals in all. And now I'm going to adhere this. This layer goes not centered, but at the right and bottom. So I'm leaving about maybe 3/8 of an inch. No, it's an eighth. 1/8 of an inch at the bottom and on that side, and that leaves a wider space at the top and on the left. And that, no, there's one more. Oh, I'm always saying, and that's all there is to this card. No, that's not all there is to this card. This card also needs some pearls. So it's gonna get 3 pearls. One of the medium size, and I'll put that one about maybe right there, and then 2 of the smaller ones. No, not there. This one goes down here. Okay. Now the card is finished. Really a very simple card, and one that anyone would be thrilled to get in the mail. So I hope you'll give this card a try, and I hope you'll head over to capital D, capital O, stampinwithdawn.com and check out some of her other fantastic posts. Well, thanks for watching, and happy stampin'.